So after 15 months of regulatory approval processes, Disney at long last have now finally acquired 21st Century Fox. So let's dive into all of that up next. Hi there Waltoneers, I'm Jack. This is of course DSMI Newscast, and let's get straight into it. So it was on December 14th, 2017 that news first broke that Disney was going to be acquiring 21st Century Fox for what was then announced to be $52.4 billion. But then fast forward 6 months later, and we saw Comcast make a last-ditch attempt to snatch Fox from under Disney with a $65 billion bid of their own. But then Disney decided to raise their bid even higher to $71.3 billion to ensure that they acquired 21st Century Fox. And then over the last 9 months, we've seen this deal pass more and more of the milestones to bring us to today. As of March 20th, 2019, the acquisition has now been fully approved and 21st Century Fox is now part of the Walt Disney Company, meaning that Disney now owns all of this. And yes, I know that's a lot to take in, so to simplify it and make it a little easier to understand, these are the big media divisions that now make up the main bulk of the Walt Disney Company, which I highly recommend pausing this video right now just to take in all that Disney now own and what they don't. Now up until this point, every piece of Disney news that we've covered here on DSMI Newscast really does kind of pale in comparison to the magnitude of importance that this acquisition, which is one of the largest in history, will have on the future of the Walt Disney Company. As in the ever-evolving landscape of the entertainment industry, we've probably seen the biggest disruption to the way that companies like Disney distribute their content since the dawn of the television age in the 1950s. And it's that exact reason why this acquisition means so much to Disney. As with Netflix, Amazon and Apple all making bigger and bigger plays for the ultimate streaming service, Disney need to have a large and diverse catalogue of content to remain competitive within the marketplace. As Disney had previously explored the possibility of purchasing Netflix, but when that was not for sale, Disney turned to creating a service that would rival and even eclipse. But it's much more than just a streaming service that Disney are aiming for here, as this decision is actually very similar to Roy O. Disney's decision to launch Buena Vista Distribution back in 1953 and begin to distribute their movies into movie theatres instead of relying on RKO to do it for them. As with that decision, it gave Disney complete control over their content and what its true value was. And so it's with this acquisition that Disney CEO Bob Iger is aiming to do the same thing, to safeguard the future of the Walt Disney Company by keeping control over its content and distribution platforms. As let's say if Disney didn't make this move, it would have eventually led them to being at the mercy of the likes of Netflix and Amazon deciding what their content was worth, thus diminishing its value. But by purchasing Fox and consolidating their immense libraries, it provides Disney with the diversity of content and most importantly the talent that they need to attract as many subscribers as possible. But as Bob Iger addressed yesterday in a statement, this finalisation of the deal is not the end, but only the end of the beginning, as this will lead to an evolving blend of synergies and assets to create a Disney for future generations. And so, having discussed the importance of this acquisition for the Walt Disney Company, now let's talk about the details. As first of all, you've probably seen everywhere that Disney buying Fox means that they will gain access to most of the Marvel characters to use within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with the likes of X-Men, Fantastic Four and Deadpool being some of the most notable characters that Disney will now have access to. But some of the characters, such as Spider-Man and anything within the Spider-Man universe, remain a co-deal between Marvel Studios and Sony Entertainment. But what you're probably wondering is where this leaves Marvel in terms of the Disney and Universal parks. And well, it doesn't really change anything at all in the immediate future, as most of the big new Marvel characters were already featured inside of the Universal Studios park, which means that under the MCA and Marvel licensing agreement of 1994, Disney can still not use these characters east of the Mississippi River. However, Disney do now have ownership over some of the most iconic and popular horror franchises that they could leverage in exchange for the use of specific Marvel characters within Disney parks at Walt Disney World, as Universal Studios might want to expand their horror offerings, which are so popular within Universal Universal Studios with permanent fixtures instead of focusing on outdated comic book versions of these Marvel heroes. However, if this is to happen, this arrangement wouldn't be for quite a few years, as Universal would have to sunset the Marvel characters within their parks and not offer any new updates to the superhero island for quite a while at Islands of Adventure. And that brings us to the animation side of things, as with this deal, Disney will be acquiring Blue Sky Animation Studios, who created Rio and Ice Age, and they'll also be attaining the content distribution rights to Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, American Dad, and The Simpsons, which is absolutely massive in terms of the animation industry, as The Simpsons and Family Guy are easily the two most popular animated TV shows in the last 30 years. But importantly, this will not immediately affect The Simpsons within Universal Studios, as that was a separate deal arranged between The Simpsons creator Matt Groening and Universal Studios. But once again, Disney will have the power to eventually raise the licensing fees for The Simpsons characters and potentially use this as leverage to renegotiate the Marvel MCA agreement of 1994. But overall, the main thing to take away from all of this is that this Fox acquisition by Disney now means that Disney has an immense library of diverse content in both movies and TV shows that now won't be available on the likes of Netflix or Amazon. And they've gained a majority stake in Hulu, and they will also have massive franchises such as the upcoming Avatar sequel and also all of the X-Men movies playing within their portfolio. And so on top of all of that, Disney will be launching the Disney Plus streaming service at the end of this year, which will offer incredible original content produced exclusively for the service as well. So as Bob Iger said, this is just the beginning of a bright future of new possibilities of great original Disney content for us Disney fans to enjoy around the world. But now, it's over to you, Waltners. I would like to hear your opinions all about this 21st Century Fox acquisition, and also what are you most excited to see come out of this acquisition, either in terms of rebooting old Fox catalogue content, or maybe even bringing some of that existing Fox content within the Disney parks later on down the line. And as a second part to this question, if Disney do end up negotiating with Universal Studios, then what do you think that Disney should end up exchanging in terms of assets from the Fox catalogue to maybe sweeten the deal to maybe bring some more Marvel characters within the Disney parks? And don't forget to put the timestamp for where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere within this video along with your suggestion or your comment to be in with a chance to win one of these official DSMI Newscast enamel pins. And congratulations to this Waltoneer here for winning with this suggestion from a previous video where we were talking all about the Tron roller coaster construction at the Magic Kingdom. And so that's it for today. So go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel. Hit that notification icon so that you always receive an update when these videos come out on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And if you enjoyed today's video, give this video a massive thumbs up, as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.